Now, you go into the stories from Asia. When you get into the information from Asia and you get into their mythology, they'll tell you that everyone on the planet is born or comes through Mount Meru. This is a fact. All you have to do is look up the information. The Asians tell you that everybody is a Moor. You come from Mount Meru. And this is back in their ancient text. This is not modern. Now, the first people, the first sub-race on the planet is called the Morhal. The Morhal. That's the first sub-race on the planet. It's called the Morhal. The second is the Vlati. Morhal. Meru. Maruk. So you have to understand and be willing to understand that these are dudes who either are completely ignorant and just want you to follow them, or they're just misleading you to keep getting your notes. I'm going with they're misleading you on purpose to get your notes, because we have to know that anybody who is just willfully continue to put on debates where no solutions are given has to be someone who's literally just trying to fleece the people. And allowing these people to continue to fleece you. But you have to be smart enough to stop watching it, because this is how YouTube is being monetized. So these people put on these dog and pony shows for you, call them debates. The word debate in itself means to lower. And then you watch their YouTube channel, thereby helping them fleece you. Because every time you click on it, their YouTube channel is monetized, so you help them keep their lifestyle going by even watching the nonsense. So you have to know that the most ancient name of what we want to call Ethiopia, and I'm dealing with that because everybody wants to claim the motherland, so claim it as Maruk. To tell the truth, the name is Maruk. Okay, and we shouldn't have to break down the fact that if the name of it is Maruk, then what were the people called? See, either you get the name of the land becomes the name of the people, or the name of the people becomes also an attribute of the land. It's one or the other. Either way, it's synonymous. And ancient history says the name of Ethiopia, before it was called Habesha, before it was called Abyssinia, was Maruk. Islam.
Just to interject with what you're saying, in further studies you hear the Moruk, it segued in translation throughout time to be Yuruk, right? Yuruk, this is where you would get into the story of the Epic of Gilgamesh, where they're speaking of these demigods and such. So you get to understand why that area is so prominent in the biblical trails that goes on within the Bible. You understand, just that land area, why it was so critical. So that was very important. That was a very, very good point that you stated. And it's funny how, regardless of where you go to find information, you will always see that the constants M and R, which scientifically stands for pyramid, which is our symbol for civilization. So it's like it's everywhere. That MR, it's everywhere. The vowels we know can be interchanged. When you understand the principles of linguistics,
exactly.
vowels is interchangeable. But the constants, when you focus on that, then you can really dispel a lot that these so-called scholars try to put out there to mislead people and divert them from understanding where to really find information. Even with even here, like with the Amazon, at one point it used to be called the Maranon, like that area was called Maranon, like, you know what I mean? But now it's Amazon, and then it's like, it's just different different dialects being spoken throughout time, and it kind of segues from the original word, but at its root, you know what it means, you know what it signifies, you know, and that's what people need to get, as far as when they do their research and, you know, they're studying, get to the root, get to the matrix, get to the meat and potatoes. Don't deal with the connotation. Don't deal with the opinion of an individual. You know, when you read something. Go ahead, family.
The last thing I'll say, then we can move on to the European guy. Whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
The last thing I would say to anyone who wants to talk about the things that the Moors did and bring it up. Two things. Yes, you had some Muslim Moors who did it. So what? What else we got? So because there were some Muslim Moors, which really is how we should be saying it when we speak about different sects, because we're all Moors, you have to speak of them referring to their particular tribe or understanding, belief, travels, whatever. You had certain Muslim Moors who did do that. So what? So, because this is what's been going on all over the planet with Moors for thousands of years. So what we're going to do, or what they're going to do, is take what happened 300, 200, 175 years ago and say this is the rule of the Moors. Although you're going to call, who is it from Stolen Legacy? Forgot his name. Who is it?
G.M. James.
There it is, G.M. James. You're going to speak about him, where he tells you that the Moors were the light bearers of the knowledge coming out of ancient Kemet. So what you find is that you're just dealing with a lot of hypocrisy on that. You know, so yep, you have Muslim Moors who sold some of the other Moors into slavery. Got it. Thank you. So what? What else you got? Because that doesn't bother me. Because I see Moors who are classified as black, Negro, and colored selling us out every day. When we were in Ecupta enslaving each other, same thing. When we were over here in the shores of Northwest, Southwest, and Central and Mexum, we were selling each other out. I mean, how do we think that they colonized the world? Do we actually believe that these Europeans who we taught to navigate, that they actually went around the world and just destroyed us all? So if you want to say that there wasn't Moors were just one set of people, then also go back and look at the different territories, because the Moors, the Muslim Moors, did not go into all different parts of Al-Kebalan and grab everybody. You have different nations who they would not want to call Moors who were doing it also. You had Moors over here in the tribes who were selling out other Moors. You have Moors today selling out other Moors. You have Ray Lewis talking about Kaepernick when he should be standing up saying, okay, I'll support him. So what's the difference? Why is that what we want to lean on? You want to lean on it because either you're taking a backdoor payout, so you want to actually discredit the movement, or you're just ignorant and stupid. I'm going to go with probably both.
Islam. I just wanted to interject.
One thing to add, as you brought up Ray Lewis and Kaepernick, whatever Moore's name is, keep in mind that Ray Lewis is with Bratton Bay and those people. And when you hear Ray Lewis say, yeah, I'm standing with him or whatever, but leave the flag out of it. Right? That the so-called Moors or whatever like that say is a flag when that's a banner. And they push this fraud. Again, it's the same jurisdiction that's pushing this fraud of, you know, and flag is the stars and stripes. That's not no American flag.
There's lying.
There's pictures. There's pictures of Ray Lewis with Bratton Bay's son at football camps and stuff like that.
Islam.
So don't think
Right.
individuals don't have, you know, high people on their side. Just like we have high people on our side. You know what I mean? You got NBA players who are down with the civic side, naturalizing and all that stuff. They're talking about from study, just like how we talk. Right?
Entertainers, yeah.
Yep. Islam.
I just wanted to state, you know, camelbacking off of what Brother Ramiel was speaking of. I know Cujo, you put it out there, the Adunga man, you know, taking his people, you know, going pillaging different tribes and stuff like that. But there was also a I'm trying to recall who the prime minister was, but he apologized on behalf of Africans, you know, the Moors of that
Yeah.
side, for what was going on here, because they understand and they know that had they not authorized the conditions of our people to where, you know, for things to go on that the way it went on, if they hadn't authorized it, then we wouldn't be in the predicament that we're in right now, at least not as much as we're in right now. Because the fact of the matter is, you know, even in the stories that you read with Columbus and stuff, you know, the voyages that George Washington had, they needed a more for navigation. You know, our ancestors were known as the masters of the seas. So of course, when you have to take a trip, you're going to be going to the navigators who know where they're going. You see what I'm saying? So it's like when you take that into consideration, understanding that, you know, you have a man who recognized that and apologized for that, but they hide that though. They did hide that. I remember that distinctly. But if you can bring that up, please do.
What I was gonna interject when you talked about navigators, we're just gonna go to, you know, their esteemed scholar once again, Dr. Ben. Yet just as it was, oh, this is on page 546 again. Yet, just as it was, the Moors of African origin, the Iberian Peninsula as conquerors in 711, it was also they who were the last to be forced out by the Spaniards, Christians, in 1485 from Granada. The African Moors came just 7 short years before Christopher Columbus, and his African Moorish chief navigator and captain of the flagship Santa Maria, Pietro Alonso Nino, a native of Morocco, North Africa, set sail for the shorter route to the Far East and ended up in what is today called the West Indies, but which is really the Caribbean. The final expulsion of the Arabs from Granada, Spain, in 1485 initiated another chain of victories by Europeans over the Africans, usually checked in 19, at which time Dr. Nkrumah of their former so-called Gold Coast Crown Colony of Great Britain of political freedom under the name of the Commonwealth of Ghana, changed to the Republic of Ghana in 1958. So just to back you up, even though these Europeans could be sailing anywhere without Moors as the captains of their ships.
Indeed.
And that's not because Moors selling out and all that type of stuff. It's the same thing when we have those pictures, Europeans, and they have the little Moor in there, and everybody says, oh, that's a slave. Or turbans and stuff like that.
They're not groomed the way that they're groomed in the painting like that.
Wearing pearls and have goblets and stuff
With
like that.
jewel turbans